The first thing you need to do before you can join your blocks together to make a patchwork item is to make sure they're all the same size and that they're all square. If you've made a set of 9 patch blocks or these rail fence blocks, then they're very likely to be all the same size and to be square. There isn't much scope actually for cutting down a 9 patch block, because if you trim too much off the outside edges, these outer squares are going to be rectangular now, not square, so it's best to try and keep those square as you work. But these hourglass blocks we deliberately made slightly oversized, and they'll need to be cut down, so they need to be 6.5 inches. Now they've got diagonal seams, so if you line up the 6.5 inch ruler with its diagonal line on the diagonal seams like that, the 6.5 inch ruler is square and 6.5, so I can trim it all round like this. And end up with a perfectly square block ready for joining to the 9 patch. So next I'm going to show you how to put together your patchwork top, the backing and the wadding to make a 3-layer quilt sandwich ready for quilting. So before you start, you need to make sure that both your backing and your patchwork top have had a really good iron, because any creases you leave in now will stay in forever, because you won't iron it again after it's been quilted. So first of all, you get the back down, right side downwards, and get it very smooth. You can, at this stage, if you want to, use some masking tape to hold the edges down, like this. Well, you could go ahead and put 6 or 8 pieces. Next comes the wadding. I'm using a very thin cotton wadding here, which will make sure that it's very flat. Smooth that to make sure it's flat, and then last of all, right side up this time, and centred in the middle is the patchwork top. Now you will notice that I have cut the back and the wadding a bit oversized. That means that when the whole thing is finished and before you bind it, you can trim it down and make sure the edges are exactly straight. Okay, I've got the 3 layers together, and I'm planning to quilt this with the sewing machine very simply. So I'm going to pin it all over to keep the layers together whilst I'm working. So starting somewhere in the middle, we put a safety pin in. I've got this nifty gadget to help me. So work from the centre outwards to pin in about every 3 or 4 inches. If you're happy to grovel about on the floor, it can be quite good to do this on a carpet, because a carpet holds the back down flat. You get no problems with it mucking up. So you carry on just like that, and put safety pins over the whole piece ready for quilting.